People today are very proud. They're proud of their home. They're proud of their family. They're proud of the work they do. They're proud of causes and what political party they belong to. I want to talk to you about pride in your morning cup of inspiration. I do have coffee. Very good. I met a guy the other day. Pam and I were walking on the bluff, and his name was Elliot Uzelak. And as soon as he said his name, I knew I'd heard it before. And I asked him what he did for a living. He said, I was a football coach. And I said, that's where I've heard your name. I heard you were a great football coach. And he kind of rubbed it off and said, no, not really. You can ask my wife, I wasn't that good. And she jokingly said, yeah, he wasn't that good, but he was. I looked him up and did some research. He coached at Navy, Western Michigan University. He even coached at the University of Michigan, Indiana, and even at the professional level with the Cleveland Browns. He came to my high school when the football program was in the toilet. They were 0-9 that year, didn't win a single game. His first year, they had a winning season. They were 6-5. The next year, they were undefeated, 9-0, went to the Final Four in the state of Michigan, and he was voted by the Associated Press as the coach of the year for all of Michigan high school football. He did the same thing in Benton Harbor, the town across the bridge, where they hadn't won a game in over 2.5 years. In his first year, he had a winning season, and then he turned them into an undefeated club as well. But very humble, and I love that. And I've found that the greatest people I've ever worked with were also among the most humble. Guys like Charlton Heston, the great actor. He was so well known and so famous. And Bob Hope, who did so much work for our troops, very humble guy. I want to tell you what Jesus said about being humble. In Luke 18, verses 10 through 14, he gave a parable, and he was speaking to Pharisees who were very proud religious leaders. And he said, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood up and prayed about himself. God, I thank you that I'm not like other men, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week, and I give 1/10 of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. You don't hear much these days about humility, but if you want to be great in the kingdom of God, you need to be humble. Jesus himself gave us that example by washing his disciples' feet. So go today, walk humbly before the Lord and serve him, and I'll see you soon for another morning cup of inspiration.